Hello, Napoleon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Napoleon Bonaparte, and he is 46 years old, and we're in his living quarters in St. Helena. I am here to talk about Napoleon's ventures and his overall life. Are you ready, Napoleon?
Yes, I am.
Great. Let's start off with when were you born and where?
I was born in Ajaccio, Corsica in 1769.
Now, what age were you when you attended the Royal Academy?
I attended the Royal Academy when I was just 9 years old.
Wow, only 9 years old?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
thank you.
From my understanding, you enrolled in the École Militaire in 1784?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. Let's move on to some things in his life. Now, when did you gain most of your military power?
I gained most of my military power in the French Revolution. First I was a captain, and then I was a commander. I worked very hard at an internal French battle at Toulon to then become a general on December 2nd of 1793. This was all while there was civil strife and rebellion against the Republic, and the government assigned me duties to stop this. I then moved on to become general of the Army of the West.
Okay. What was the importance of the coup d'état over the Directory?
Well, on November 9th of 1799, the coup d'état brought me to power as first consul of France. As some believe, this ended the revolution, the French Revolution. The resignation of 3 of the 5 directors actually prevented a quorum, and this practically abolished the Directory. But the 2 Jacobin directors, Louis Gohier and Jean-François Auguste, they were protesting me furiously about me coming into power. Both of them were arrested by my friend General Jean-Victor Marie Moreau, and the next day they were compelled to give up their resistance. This coup d'état overthrew the Directory, and a committee of 5, which had been set up in 1795 after the fall of Robespierre, was replaced by the French consultant.
Okay. Next question. You said before, ability is nothing without opportunity. What was so important about this quote, and why did you say it?
Well, I said this because you can be the best at something, but without the opportunity to show that, your skill has no use.
Is that all?
No,
Or would you like to elaborate more into that?
that's it.
Okay. Now, after you had successfully rose to power over France and became its newfound leader, what were some things that you wanted to do to make France better?
Well, to make France better, I completely rewrote the legal code, Code Napoleon. I created the Banque de France to restore financial stability, and I instituted an extensive program of public works like building roads, bridges, and canals, dredging harbors, and beautifying cities, especially Paris. I centralized the governmental systems and settled the dispute with the Catholic Church. I also used my armor to conquer many lands.
Okay. Now let's talk about the Louisiana Purchase. Can you give us some details on your sellings and your purchases?
Well, tension was building between Britain and France, and I knew that a lot of money would be needed for an upcoming war with Britain. I decided to sell the Louisiana territory and put my dream of a new world empire on hold, and that obviously never happened because now I'm stuck on this island.
Yes.
St. Helena.
Yeah. Well, you're good next time, maybe. Yeah. All right, next question. Why did you choose the title Emperor of the France? Or French, I'm sorry.
Well, I chose this title because I want people to know that I have a different perspective than a normal king, and that I want them to respect me, especially after what happened with Louis XVI.
And we all know that his downfall was greatly severe because he was not a great leader to his people at all.
Yeah, and I wanted people to know that I was not like him, and he went by king, so I wanted to go by emperor.
Okay. Next question. What happened in Moscow? And why did you invade Russia?
Well, I invaded Russia in order to further complete my mastery of Europe, and I had virtually defeated all other nations, states, I guess, in Europe. And Russia was the only remaining real threat aside from the United Kingdom. Once I invaded Russia, a scorched earth strategy was adopted by Marshal Kutuzof of the Russian Imperial Army. This caused my troops to suffer throughout the famed Russian winter without any supplies to raid due to the scorched earth. I even captured Moscow but found the city empty of most people and supplies. Thus the trip was nearly pointless.
I see. Now let's get into more closer things. Why did you step down your role and renunciate your rulership of France?
Well, the first time I abdicated as the Emperor of the French, the first time I abdicated as the Emperor of France, it was because the Treaty of Fontainebleau of 1814, when I was evaded by several high and low power countries. The United Kingdom, Spain, and Portugal invaded France across the Pyrenees. The Russians, Austrians, and their allies helped invade France to enter negotiations to ride me with the help of the French government. And on March 3rd of 1814, there was a declaration opposing me and my power over France. Thus, I had heard that I was dethroned by the French Senate while I was in the Palace of Fontainebleau. So I decided that on April 6th of 1814 that I would renounce my title to the throne. It was the best decision for me to do in order to keep the pride without allowing any personal sacrifices among others.
Okay. I see what you did there. And you feel like it was the best way possible without, causing a worldwide type of scale between multiple countries in Europe?
Yes.
Okay. After defeating King Louis XVIII for your title as emperor, once again, what was your purpose of the 100 Days campaign?
Well, this was the last campaign that I had dreams of remaining. This is my last campaign. My dreams of remaining Emperor of France were not there anymore. It began with the legendary escape from my exile on the island of Elba to France that had quickly become disenchanted with the returned Bourbon King Louis XVIII. The former emperor landed near Cannes with 600 guardsmen of emperor landed near Cannes with 600 guardsmen.
Yes.
And my bodyguard and I moved towards Grenoble, where I was confronted by men of the 5th Regiment, which had been sent to arrest me.
Thank you. Alright folks, that's all we have today. And again, we have Napoleon, who just gave us a great interview about his life and his successful and possibly horrible things that he has done. Tune in next week as we will take a look into King Louis XVIII and the same things that we talked about with Napoleon and many other characters. Thank you for watching.